Hello, it's so good to be back here. You have no idea how long I've been wanting to film this video. I wanted to talk to you about my art practice and how I've been intentionally working to improve my art. And I think you can do that too if this is something that you want to tackle in 2024. So I'm going to lay out exactly what it is that I've done and implemented over the last quarter of the year, and what my steps are moving forward to be more intentional with my art as both a career and a practice. This is your first time here, welcome. My name is Melissa Solley, and you like to see behind the scenes of what's going on with artists, you can just follow me here wherever it is that you're finding this video, and I'd be happy to have you as part of my community. First thing I did is I recognized that there was a resistance problem. So if you have a resistance problem, figure out why. I had my art studio here, I had it set up, I had all the stuff, and I could not get myself to create. When you're feeling a sense of resistance in your life, you find that you tend to do other things that you don't want to do above this. So for example, I would do the dishes, which I really hate to do, before painting. Why? I like painting. What is it that was preventing me from doing it? So I had to find little ways to get myself started. Momentum really helps to shift your creativity. I do think having an intentional daily practice of art is key. So that came to be my second point. How did I implement a daily art practice, and how could I make myself kind of adhere to it? The way that worked out best was to actually work creating art every day. For me, it's not that I wasn't creating things, I just wasn't creating things to completion. It was just like a doodle. I just couldn't make myself go through. I have big goals, but it was hard for me to action them all the way. In order to get out of my rut, I needed to create art. I just needed to do it. And I ended up looking for work, and I found a part-time job teaching art to children, from little kids all the way up till teenagers, and all kinds of art. I was doing manga and painting and a little bit of mixed media, drawing, charcoal, pastels, watercolor, you name it. I was kind of dealing with a lot of it. The key is playing and teaching. So I thought when I took this job, if nothing else, it's going to make me create every day and relearn those fundamentals and get out of my own head. A lot of the thing for me had to do with overthinking it and wanting to be perfect. I have an art piece over here that is staring at me. I started it in 2020 and I haven't touched it in a long time because I don't feel like I have the technique and skills to complete it to how I want. Instead of just doing it, I just leave it there forever and it might be unfinished. So if that's something that you do, I highly recommend teaching others or being in some sort of volunteer space where you can teach or help others to create something from start to finish that isn't something that you're necessarily super married to, because it helps you to go forward and take those actionable steps. As a result of this, I ended up learning about a lot of different things because I had to teach it and, learn a whole concept. So I had to explain the concept, I had to go through it, I had to get them started, I had to show my examples. And I, went through this process and I got examples. So I have work that I've created that I did specifically for these classes that I could keep for my portfolio, or that inspired me, or that taught me a new technique, and it got me thinking and creating and wanting to get, into my own practice. So if you don't find that there's an opportunity for you to teach somebody, I would say take a class with other people, with an external deadline, not something like a Skillshare. As great as that is, I think that doing something in person forces your hands. Another thing that I would recommend, I haven't done it yet, is joining associations would be my third tip. If there's a local art association, whether that be, meetups, or there was like an oil painting association that I wanted to join where they do classes and weekly meetups. And I thought, what a great way to get myself into the network of artists. I don't want to do as much illustration work. I do, but I also want to expand into more fine artistry. I have that itch there, and I could tell that that's something that I need to explore. And one of the ways to do that is to be around people and create a network. Not only will you amp up your skills and learn from others, but you can create great friends. And who knows, maybe you could do a combined show somewhere or something like that. So I think that is really key. And the fourth tip, just think about content creation. Obviously, Not everybody feels comfortable in front of a camera, but you might, want to record your videos or upload time lapses and just have a weekly schedule of something. If nothing else, you don't even have to think about it for growth. I would have it public, but maybe you would just want to keep it as like a visual journal and history of your growth as an artist throughout the year. Make a commitment to yourself that at least once a week I will upload some sort of time lapse or some sort of video or something showing, even if you do still images, if that's really easier for you, like a carousel on Instagram. Upload those for yourself, and you can use it if you decide that you want to grow your network and audience later. You can do that. One of the things that I have been doing over the last year has been working as an art director and social media marketer. So I've been learning a lot about how to really put yourself out there and create those connections that you need eventually to either build your business or just build an audience, right, of like-minded people who are interested in what you're doing, and you can share. Nothing else. It's really good to see kind of like where you've gone, and you can always hide them later if you decide that it's not your thing. But the last thing that I would recommend would be try a different medium. If you have a museum or different places that you can observe, or even watch art history videos online. I've been doing a lot of that on YouTube. I know one channel, if you like, actual full documentaries, I think it's Perspective Art. I've watched hours upon hours of that. It's really fun. Finding about different artists that I'd forgotten about, different artists and mediums that were just thinking about stretching outside the box, looking at mediums and different ways of painting or drawing or whatever that are totally different than what you would do. And I think that can really help to inspire new life and vigor in your art practice. Dive into specific art movements and find out like what it is that appealed. And then you can find names maybe in those movements you didn't know about. I, hadn't looked at some of these artists before. I had never, considered them just because of lack of exposure, or, maybe I saw them very briefly when I was young and didn't know their name and just saw it somewhere. And there were a couple that I was like, oh, okay, I'm familiar with seeing that in the pop culture sphere. For me, I'm more of a figurative person. I draw people. I was even playing with some clay over here, and it's like a head. So I was watching some more stuff about abstract art, that freedom that you get, that lack of like need for perfection that I sometimes get when I'm trying to do realistic portraiture. Take some of that and apply that to my art, or see what parts of it inspire me. Maybe doing some different mixed media things that I would never have thought of. I'm getting all of these ideas for different series that I can make that I'm starting to really be like, yeah, I kind of want to do that. I want to get in front of the canvas. I want to paint, and actually that's why I'm standing right here. I started this, I don't know if you can kind of see, I have some just like blue pencil on the canvas, and I started recording it, but I was like, what, this is the time for me. My goal was to record this video. I wanted to launch it for New Year, and then I got sick for like the third or fourth time in 4 months. And let me just tell you, that is not not the good thing about working with kids, because I am face-to-face, and boy, we sanitize and we Lysol and we mask, but I still got sick so many times. I want you to feel that you have the ability to create the art that you want. I want you to feel that you are empowered to create the career you want. If you're seeking freedom from the merry-go-round that is capitalism, if you just, for me, my goal is to be wealthy enough to take care of the people I love, take care of myself without really worrying about anything, and to be able to be free to just create in whatever medium I want and just flit around, and also, be philanthropic and give to people. That's what I want to do. I don't know who you are, but I love you, and I'm sure that many of you feel the same way. Let's set this intention for 2024. I do believe that if we pool our energy and resources, we're attracting that to us. So here's to wealth, here's to health, here's to artistic freedom, and let's go 2024.